YM channel. In this video, we will discuss Article 3 of RA number 386, also known as the Civil Code of the Philippines. Article 3 of the Civil Code of the Philippines provides that ignorance of the law excuses no one from compliance therewith. So what is the basis of this rule? This rule of law is based upon the assumption that evasion of the law would be facilitated, and the successful administration of justice defeated, if persons accused of crimes could successfully plead ignorance of the illegality of their acts. This rule applies in criminal as well as in civil cases. If ignorance of the law is a valid excuse for its non-performance or compliance, then it would be very easy for a person to escape scot-free from liability for the commission of a wrong. The reason is founded on public policy. Why the law proscribes or prohibit ignorance of law as defense? If ignorance of the law is a valid defense, then anyone can evade criminal and civil liability by claiming that he does not know the law. It would create a chaotic society. It would invite deception, promote criminality. It must, however, be remembered that mistakes in the application or interpretation of difficult or doubtful provisions of law may be the basis of good faith. Ignorance of the law must not, however, be confused with mistake of facts. Ignorance of fact may excuse a party from the legal consequences of his acts or conduct, but not ignorance of the law. What is the presumption of knowledge of law? Everyone is conclusively presumed to know the law. As explained earlier, even if the people have no actual knowledge of the law, they are presumed to know it after the publication. Let's understand the principle and rule of knowledge of the law applied. It is an express legal rule that ignorance of the law is not an excuse for failure to comply therewith. Nor does it excuse anyone from compliance thereto. Thus, the allegation of the defendant that he was not acquainted with the provisions of the municipal code as to the residence required of an elector cannot be sustained, nor does it constitute an exemption, inasmuch as, according to this article, ignorance of the law does not excuse a person from compliance therewith. Likewise, ignorance of the existence of the prohibitory provisions of the opium law is no excuse for the unlawful possession of opium. These rulings, however, do not alter the presumption that a person is innocent of crime or wrong until the contrary is proved, since this presumption is applicable in criminal as well as in civil cases. In civil cases particularly, the defendant is presumed to be innocent of the wrong charged until the contrary is proved by preponderance of evidence. Thus, fraud is not presumed unless facts are proved from which fraud may be inferred legally or logically. And the presumption of innocence includes that of good faith, fair dealing, and honesty.